Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Ease. Today's episode is just gonna be me because I wanted to dive into kind of a topic that I've never talked about before online. My journey with YouTube and, starting on YouTube, posting YouTube videos, the journey of beginning, the being in it of it all, and where I'm at now. Today's episode is obviously more personal, and if you are someone who has watched me since I was 16 or 17, this episode's for you. Recently, we recorded an episode with Lynn Trong, and it was actually like one of my favorite episodes, and I know I say that about every episode, but this one I really connected with. First of all, love Lynn. She is so down to earth and well spoken and creative and cool, and I really appreciated talking with her. She made me reflect a lot on just my experience growing up and also growing up on the internet, my relationship to the internet. It was overall a really great episode, and it left me thinking and kind of reflecting on the things that I outgrew and the challenges that I kind of faced, and it made me think about starting on the internet and what that was like. Let's just dive right in. So I guess the best place to start is the beginning and my relationship to YouTube as a young kid. I obviously grew up in the suburbs of Texas, and I lived in a city that honestly there was not much to do, and I very quickly started getting familiar with the internet and YouTube personalities, and instantly I was just obsessed with it. I loved how funny some of my favorite creators were. I loved laughing. I loved relating to people and feeling seen by people online, and it just kind of felt like an escape. I really loved after school going home and catching up with all of my favorite YouTubers and laughing and feeling seen, and it was really just a medium that I really enjoyed watching and consuming. And then on top of that, I also was super just fascinated by making videos and recording something and cameras and putting together a little video. And I remember for my 15th or 16th birthday, I asked my mom for a camera, and she got me a Lumix camera. And with that camera, I was literally so excited. I was so hyped about it. When I received the gift, I immediately began recording everything. I loved putting together, little videos. I would go about my day and record my day, and I would record myself in the car driving to the thrift store and putting together a video and editing it, making it really funny and kind of just making it entertaining. And I was so into shooting something and then afterwards kind of piecing together the story and making it entertaining afterwards. I loved editing. I loved making it funny, and it was really the type of content that I was consuming. I loved just laughing with people, so I felt like all of my favorite people online, the different things that I appreciated about them, I kind of was I just want to do my take on a vlog. I want to do my take on just putting together a video that I think is entertaining and creative and cool. So I started posting my videos. At first, I talked about this in the Lynn episode, I was kind of embarrassed to share that this was an interest of mine, and I was kind of embarrassed to share with my friends my videos. So I would post YouTube videos on my channel at the time that was a secret channel, and I would secretly upload different videos that I worked on and edited and put together. And anytime my mom would be at work or leave to go to a quinceañera, I would spend that alone time and I would film videos that I thought were funny and entertaining and just kind of playing with the edit. I loved editing more than anything because I felt like that's where I could actually kind of like craft the story. Like I would just record whatever and do some nonsense in front of the camera and just be silly and have like a loose concept, but in the editing I would like put together, this is an actual proper video. And I think a great example of that is my video breaking my school's dress code. That video was like my biggest video on my YouTube channel by far. It has 28 million views and 1 million likes on YouTube. Oh my god, I'm looking at the comments and there's still comments from like 4 months ago. I'll always find my way back to this video. All roads lead back to this video. This was a cultural reset. That's crazy. That's really crazy. That video is a great example because that was a video that I was like, okay, I'm just going to record myself every day of the week and just talk to the camera and like loosely, I guess, update on what's going on. But it was just super chaotic. And in the editing, I was like, okay, this is Monday. This is Tuesday. This is me reflecting. This is the update. This is Friday. Like I just made it make sense because otherwise it's just a bunch of footage, you know? So I loved editing. That was like really my thing. I low-key feel like it's always been my thing because I wasn't a 1D girl. I was a 5-sauce girl. And maybe part of me was like trying to be different because I was like 5-sauce actually plays instruments. Part of me, you know, now I can acknowledge that that's why I refused to be on the One Direction bandwagon and that's why I was obsessed with 5 Seconds of Summer. I can acknowledge that now. But then, you know, I was just like, whatever. Like, I do think that now I'm like, I wanted to be different so bad, but fuck it. I loved it and I wouldn't want it any other way. But anyways, when I was obsessed with 5 Seconds of Summer, I would make edits of them. So I had some editing skills under my belt. Like I knew how to put together a video. I loved it so much. It was just so fun for me. I was so perfectionist and that's why it would take me so long to release videos because I was so perfectionist. I was like, I need to be able to sit and be able to watch this video from start to finish. So I need to make it entertaining every second. Every beat needs to be entertaining. I need to make it my sense of humor. And I also need to cut out all the like parts that aren't engaging and make it funny because I like watching funny videos. The edit was my thing. I ended up posting the one video that blew up, and that was the one I was just talking about, breaking my school's dress code. I kind of felt like that video was the thing that kind of like introduced everyone to me. And after I had posted that video, I kind of had already felt like the pressure a little bit of like, okay, now I'm being watched. And it wasn't a bad thing. I was so grateful. I literally felt so grateful and also was a dream come true. YouTube was my bread and butter. I loved YouTube and YouTubers, and it was literally just like a dream come true. I kind of knew that YouTube now was something that I had to keep up with, and I almost felt like I want to satisfy people's expectations. I want to give them what they want. So how do I do that? At the time, I was graduating high school. I was getting ready to apply to go to college and move out of my hometown, and the journey of that and graduating, and then COVID hit, and there was just like a lot going on at that time. So anytime I would release a video, they were like few and far between. I wanted to lean into like, what is it that people want from me, rather than like, this is what I find entertaining and this is what I want to do. I did sprinkle in some versions of like, this is what I want to do. I also at the same time was like an 18-year-old girl moving out of my childhood home across the country, not knowing what she's doing, trying her best, not really know what she is aiming for. I always admired YouTubers and I loved watching videos weekly, but I didn't realize how much time and effort was put into it. And it's really easy to kind of get into a cycle of feeling burnt out, especially on YouTube because the format. And so I kind of was trying my best at doing this. I was like, okay, well, I guess this is my job. So I was continuing to like make videos and try to show up in whatever way that I could. Like I was posting videos in between me, you know, going through my mental health journey, in between me moving across the country, in between. So much change going on in my life, physically, internally, like everything. It was like really a windstorm. 2020 to like 2023 was like really a chaotic storm, and that was when like my career had just started and was like taking off. I was like fighting for my life. It felt like I was in a tornado and I was like, someone help me. And I'm at the same time trying to like show face and be like, I'm posting videos regularly and this is my life, and like this is like obviously something that I wanted, but like I didn't know exactly what I wanted. Because being someone who started making videos just out of creative sake and passion, that was like the thing that initiated me wanting to do it and my love for it. And then it quickly became, okay, now you're being accepted for it, but also seen. So continue doing this thing that works because this is what we like. And I don't think I've ever been that person where I'm like, I'm going to do one thing and continue to do it. Like, I'm going to play soccer and I'm going to play soccer for 6 years because I need to do it, because now I signed up for it. Now people are expecting things of me. So now I'm in soccer and like, this is the thing I got to do and I got to force myself to do it. I think that was kind of my experience being perceived as a YouTuber. I kind of started doing this thing because I was like, this is creative and cool. I got what I wanted, which was acknowledgement, a beautiful community that I'm so grateful for. And I'm so grateful for the connections that I've made through that. And now the platform that I have, like I owe it all to that. But as time was going by, I was 18 and then I was 19 and then I was 20 and then I was 21. I started realizing like, I don't know if being a YouTuber is my true passion and calling. The job position of being a YouTuber, of posting a video once a week and just doing it out of consistency's sake, out of routine, and giving people what they want because that's what they want, rather than creating something that inspires me or that I'm thinking about a lot or trying new things. I just kind of felt super limited. And then on top of that, the algorithm of YouTube is like, people typically want to watch funny, entertaining content that's short and sweet and is an easy watch and like you can get a laugh out of it. And for me, 9 out of 10 of the times, I felt like I was kind of planning something that I would do for my audience, or like for what people wanted to see. I'm gonna go on Omegle. And I was like, that's what people want to see, so I'm going to do it. But not feeling like fulfilled after that. You know what I'm saying? Like not feeling like this job that I'm doing, which is going on Omegle and laughing and giggling and like posting myself because that's what people want to see. Is it what I'm passionate about? Am I like working on this and I have passion as I'm doing it? Not necessarily. I love it. I'm so grateful for it. But is this something that's like filling my heart with like, wow, this like brings meaning to my life and joy as I'm doing it? It felt more of like, I'm doing this because I need to do it and I know that this is what people want to see, rather than passion. And that made me feel unfulfilled. Even if I would post the video and it would do amazing, I would still not feel like super content. I was just like, okay, at this point I'm doing it for views. That's kind of what it felt like. I kind of felt like I had outgrown this version of myself that I created on YouTube. It's crazy to even say this, and I think maybe that's why I haven't really talked about it online, but I think for a long time I thought that YouTube was the dream. Like I thought YouTube was my dream. I realized that it wasn't the whole dream. I realized that it was like a part of expressing myself and finding myself and having courage behind my ideas and confidence in myself and my creativity in my eye. And all of this isn't to say that I don't love and appreciate YouTube and will not continue posting YouTube videos. That is not what I'm saying at all. YouTube will always be a part of my life, and I always say that because it's true. But I kind of felt like, if I'm just speaking super honestly, that's kind of how I was feeling when I was really focusing on like, YouTube is my career. It felt like restrained creatively. I'm not creating what I want to create. Like I'm creating what I know others want to see from me. And that kind of felt super limiting, and like it made me unhappy because I felt like every day I was producing something that I didn't even truly want to put all my focus on. I think the tension here, the bigger thing that I'm talking about, is I guess transforming and people knowing you for one thing and then growing out of that one thing and transforming into something else. I know that people know me for this thing, but like I don't want to continue. I don't even feel fulfilled by this thing. Like I'm a human being, and like I was raised in a small town. I was like around all the same people, and I was living in a small town, and I felt like starting this thing out of just being creative, and then that thing opened doors and opened my eyes and expanded my taste and allowed me to move across the country to California, somewhere I've always wanted to live. Just experiencing like being around Los Angeles, the culture and the history, and experiencing different tastes and perspectives. And I know that truly what fulfills me is being creative. I really love to storytell. I've learned that through YouTube. I love movies and storytelling, and I love books, and I love even like a really good conversation. That's like storytelling in its own way. I just realized this isn't like the destination. Like I thought maybe when I was 16 that was the destination, but it wasn't the destination. That was like the beginning. And I've grown so much as a human being, and I've learned so much, and I've gone through hardship. I've gone through really hard times in the last like 5 years, and I've come out the other side. I'm just who I am. Like I'm me, you know, and these are the things that light up my eyes and inspire me. And the things that light up my eyes and inspire me is always what I want to go after. I really don't think that I outgrew YouTube. I just think that I outgrew the version of me that I built there. I'm saying that again because that's really what it felt like. I really care about the community that I've built on YouTube, and I really care about you guys. And I think that is what kind of made me feel scared and trapped a little bit. I just felt like these interests that I have isn't what people want to see from me. So does that mean that I should not change? And that kind of like push and pull of like, does that mean that I shouldn't change? It was miserable. Like the feeling of like not wanting to change or being afraid of changing, that was miserable. So anyways, I kind of got out of that mindset, and I was like, I think I need to be okay with evolving and growing and go after the things that scare me a little bit and go after the things that I love and that do light me up. I think that that's when I kind of like looked inwardly, and I'm like, okay, what is the dream? Like what do I want to do? What do I care about? And we'll get into that right after this break. Guys, it was an identity crisis and a half. I was trying to figure out what was wrong. And I'm telling you, like, the most treacherous years of my life were 2020 to 2023. Talk about give the girl a break. No breaks. Treachery. Change. Upheaval. I don't even know what that word means. It was crazy. I was like, what is this like unfulfillment that I feel? Like, why do I feel so unfulfilled? This was my dream, was it not? This is what I wanted. And then I was like, no, this isn't what you wanted. You started doing it because you loved it. You started doing it because you loved being creative and putting together videos and shooting videos. In the Lynn video, we were talking about this very thing, and it was something that I felt so seen with. I was like, Lynn, I love you. We were just talking about how some people on YouTube specifically, their goal is having a massive platform and like having hundreds of thousands of subscribers and getting a certain amount of engagement, like 26 million views per video, and working with the algorithm to increase their views, and that excites them. Like the numbers, the analytics, the algorithm, that in itself is like its own path, and that's okay. That's really great. And I felt like I was almost like forcing myself down that path. And then I was like, but this isn't what I want to do. I want to put together a video. Some people, like Mr. Beast, all the love to him, all the love, peace and love, genuinely, and blessings and prosperity, honestly. But those aren't my dreams. I don't want to just think about the statistics and engaging the algorithm, and I wanted to feel honest and true to myself and true to like being a creative person and expressing myself creatively. I think when I realized that there was kind of another version of my dream is in 2022, I did a short film with my friend and director Sarah Baba. That experience was just so magical for me. It was just like the coolest experience, and I felt like I was just kind of thrown into it, which is like the only way I think it could have happened, because otherwise maybe I would have kind of put a lot of stress and pressure on myself. I really loved collaborating with everyone there, and I met so many friends on that set, and it was just like such an incredible experience, and it was just so incredibly fulfilling. It really brought back like this like child like feeling within me. I have always really loved movies ever since I was little. The first memories I have were like me sitting in front of the TV screen watching Disney Channel original movies and so badly wanting to be Selena Gomez. I grew up and I was in jazz, which I sadly had to like get out of it because my mom couldn't afford it. But I loved, like, we had a showcase one time, or like a performance where we did like a Toy Story performance, and it was just like the coolest experience. And you know what it was? It was community. Like, I love the community of these like productions. It feels like genuine people like coming together just wanting to do what they love. And it's so cool, and I've always loved it even since I was a little girl. And, you know, doing this in 2022, I think I was like 19 or 20, and I just felt like, oh my god, like, this is like the best thing ever. The community, I felt that was something that was kind of lacking when I would go to film a video. It was always just me and the camera, and I love the intimacy of that, obviously. Like, I think that's why I've been able to connect with you guys, but at the same time, I was longing for being around a group of people who had like a shared interest and a shared goal, and we're all working towards the shared goal and all doing their best and all happy to be there and grateful and kind and creative and collaborative. Like, I really love collaborating with people, and I think it's like one of the greatest things about being a human being. And it lights me up. It's that thing that lights me up that I was talking about. So I think ever since then, that was a dream. That's where I kind of just started reflecting on, like, who am I when no one is watching me? What are the things that genuinely excite me and that I want to like participate in with friends? And I think that thing is storytelling. I think in whatever form that is. Obviously, movies is one form of storytelling. Books is another form of storytelling. Screenplays, writing, acting, directing. I love bringing stories to life. I love collaborating with people. I love being creative. I love making meaningful work. I think I constantly find myself asking myself, like, what is something that I'm afraid of that I really want to do? Because I think my relationship to YouTube and me starting YouTube, I asked myself that very question. I was like, what is it that I consume and that I love and that I want to do? Even though I'm afraid people will watch this, like, what excites me? And I think that I've always kind of been in tune with myself in that way, where I'm like, this isn't feeding me, I'm unsatisfied. This feeds me. Why? XYZ. And also in the episode with Lynn said it so perfectly. She's like, I'm as different as when I first started YouTube as you are when you're 17 to when you're 25. Like, there's so much change that happens between those years, 17 to 25, and you become a completely different person. You realize what things you value and what you want to spend your life doing and what you want to dedicate your time to. I just feel like I'm someone who wants to create and have an idea and manifest it, make it come to life. And I'm just like really a lover and consumer of film. and movies. And it's been something that I've loved since I was a young girl, and it has been something that has brought me closer to my family and brought me closer to my friends, to my relationship. I love being able to watch a movie and spend that quality time with someone I love, and both kind of like go into this world and then have things to talk about after and be like, how crazy was this? And just talking about film and like the conversations that are inspired because of film and movies. I love directors who have a beautiful eye and capture beautiful cinematography or work with incredible cinematographers, and I love color grades, and I love Technicolor, and I love old Hollywood, and it's been things that I've always loved and pieces of me that I've always carried with me since I was a young girl. I was listening to a masterclass that Natalie Portman was teaching, and she was just basically talking about how when you're older, when you're in your mid-20s, you kind of start to like reflect on what are the things that I really liked when I was 11 or 12. Like, what are those things that like really lit me up and fascinated me at that age? Because those things are so pure that a lot of the times it's so pure that you're like, this is the thing that I have always loved and been interested in. And I feel like I really connected to that when she said that, because I was like, oh my god, that's so true. I think about me at 10, like what were the things that I loved then? I loved movies, drawing, I loved jazz. It still feels like it rings true to me now. And also within like this realization that I was having, I also realized that I still really loved creating online. Like, I love connecting with you guys. I love putting together like a video and like just sharing it. SoundCloud is next. But anyways, I really realized that I still loved creating online. And one thing I don't think I answered is, what does this mean for YouTube? And you know what it means for YouTube? It means nothing, because YouTube isn't going anywhere. I honestly think that this is just going to be a version of me that feels more honest and more real and more authentic to who I actually am. And nothing could change the relationship that I have with YouTube, in the sense that I feel like YouTube has become something that I cherish. It's where I learned how to put videos together, and where I learned how to tell stories, and where I found my voice, and where I was able to connect with so many of you. I think really the only difference is that I don't want to create from a place of, what do people expect of me? What do people want me to make? I felt like I did that for so long, and I think that that's what made me feel just like kind of sad. I think now I really want to create from a place of what genuinely excites me. And I think that that's going to make YouTube more fun. I think it's going to make making videos more fun. And who knows, like some days that might literally just be a vlog. Maybe some days it's like a commentary and I'm like talking about something. Or maybe I do like a movie review. Or maybe I literally am like breaking down La La Land. And like, I did that. I literally have filmed that video and then I decided not to post it. But I have done that. Or maybe it's something completely different. I honestly don't know yet, and I kind of love that. I love being able to just give myself that room. And I really hope that you guys will come along for that, because you've already been with me through so many different chapters of my life, and this just happens to be the next one. I want to say thank you for giving me the space to grow up. I genuinely think and hope that the most exciting things I've ever made are still ahead of me. I'm really excited to get to share them with you. And I think honestly that's why I love ease so much, because we get to have conversations like this. I feel like I'm able to slow down and talk and like tell you where I'm at and what I'm thinking about and what's inspiring me. I feel like there's no other place where I could sit down and explain all of this to you guys the way I can here. And I really love that. So this one's for all my baby girls. I see your comments, ladies, and they make me smile. Just know I'm lurking and stalking when you least expect it. Just know I'm always reading your comments and I'm always listening. So please keep telling me what resonates. Keep sharing your thoughts. I really do care, and I genuinely want to keep making things that feel meaningful to both of us. Let me know what kind of conversations you want to hear. You know, what's resonating, what's not. I appreciate you guys so much, and thank you for everything. I'm so grateful. I think that that's kind of where ease comes in now. Like, I really love the honesty and realness of long form conversation. Like, I feel like a lot of things can kind of be masked with short form content. You don't really know a person with like a short form video. Like, you can kind of get hints of it, but like through like hearing someone talk and seeing how they think and how they express things, I feel like you can really see someone and like kind of understand who they are as people. And I've always really valued conversation. I think it's like that idea of like collaborating with someone, like being able to like speak an idea and say something and be like, let me communicate an idea. Is this right? Is this wrong? Do you relate to this? Like, I love that. Again, it's like that storytelling element. Like, I just told you a story of my like YouTube career and how I went through treacherous times and came out the other end, and now I'm kind of pursuing a completely different career path in like entertainment, and how much of a whirlwind that is. Like, that's a story that I'm kind of sharing with you guys, and I just love that. Like, I love being able to relate to someone and connect with someone through a story. That's why humans create art, because they feel seen and relate to things. And I had a really beautiful conversation with Justice in an episode, but we were talking about how she really loves music and she just feels so seen with music. Like, she'll put on her favorite song and she's like, wow, this person communicated these feelings I had within me so perfectly, and I just feel so seen through music. And she was talking about that, and I thought it was so beautiful, because I was like, wow, the way that you're describing music is exactly how I feel about my favorite film. Like, I feel like I see the characters and I'm like, oh my god, that's me. I think there's something important about relating to someone and connecting with someone and seeing yourself in work and art, obviously. But what I actually wanted to say was I wanted to talk about the podcast, because I started talking about movies again. Specifically with Ease, I really loved the format of a long form conversation. And I kind of realized that very early on when I had first started Bit My Tongue. I was like, this is really cool, because I get to just like kind of flow very much like stream of consciousness, which I feel like is how I am as a person. And like when I hang out with my friends, I'm super like stream of consciousness, and I'm like, hear me out, is this accurate or am I completely off the mark? And I felt like it was just the most like organic way for me to continue to connect with my audience as I, continue to discover myself and figure out what I love and what I want to do and create meaningful work. I want to continue to have this medium where I can connect with you guys and talk to you guys consistently, and for you guys to also have that way to kind of engage back. And also, it's a place for like honest conversation, reflection, curiosity, learning, growing. I love the conversations we have with our guests. I learn so much from them. I reflect on them. When I watch an episode, I kind of think about it for months after the fact. And I think that that's super meaningful. And I think that I love the journey and the community that we've built over here on Ease. I love the journey we've had with Ease. I want to improve my conversation skills. I love being around people, and I want to be able to like express ideas and like get into engaging conversation and like pick someone's brain. And I feel like Ease just like fosters all of that. So it just feels like another part of me that I really like care about, that's also like tended to now. I think for a long time, when I felt like I was kind of confining myself under this like role of what I thought I had to be. The relationship that I had with YouTube wasn't fulfilling me and wasn't like pouring into me, and I felt like super confused about like, okay, what's my next step and what do I want to work towards and what is my purpose and like what is it that I can do that I'm good at and what do I care about? And it was just like so many questions and so much confusion. And I think in like 10 years, I'm going to look back at this time and just be like, wow, she was tweaking out. I think the one thing that maybe was being tended to was like my sense of humor, because that's another thing that I think I have started to learn about myself. Like, I'm someone who's like not serious, and through my YouTube videos, especially like Omegle videos or like the shorter like silly videos, I felt like I was kind of feeding that side of myself, which is a very big part of who I am. But like these other buckets weren't being fulfilled. That side of me is something that I should continue to nurture. Like I should continue to just be my silly, not taking things too seriously self. Maybe some of you guys, you watch my old videos and you're like, I love this type of content because it's just like I can laugh with Nai. And I also love being able to laugh. So it's like I always want to bring that part of myself into everything that I do. And I think I'm learning something new every day, and I think that this is like a realization that I kind of had in the last like few months. The future with YouTube looks like me bringing you guys with me and bringing you along on my journey as a human being, as a creative person, and continuing to document my life in a honest, authentic way and in a way that I genuinely enjoy and consume. And yeah, I'm so grateful, and I feel so grateful to you guys and for the love and support that I have received from you guys over the last couple of years. And I love spending this time with you. I love talking with you and sharing my opinion, my silly little opinion and perspective that is constantly ever changing and growing. So yeah, that was today's episode. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I loved being able to talk with you guys openly and just share my thoughts and my perspective. I am so grateful to every single one of you listening, and to anyone who has supported me from the beginning. And I also want to just say thank you for coming on this journey with me. I don't really know what the next chapter looks like, and honestly, I think that's okay. I just know that I'm really excited about it. So thank you for growing up with me, for sticking around, and for letting me evolve. It means the world to me. If you've been here since the beginning, thank you. And if you're just joining now, I'm really happy that you're here, so thank you as well. If you enjoyed this episode, please make sure to subscribe and don't forget to rate the show. These things help a lot and we would really appreciate it. Yeah, I love you guys so much. I'll see you guys next week. Bye. Say bye, Belly. Say bye. Belly said bye. Thank you. Bye. Love you.